We are officially in WWE 2K25 season, and ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be covering universe mode here. Now, shout out to you if you watched my breakdown on universe mode. Today we're going to go over how I set mine up. This is the exact way I set mine up when I first got my hands on a game. Let's go on ahead and get into it, but before we do, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. You guys have been enjoying the content. We are on our way to 15,000 subscribers. Let's get to it. So the first thing you're going to do when you get into this universe mode is go to settings, right? And the first thing is you're going to turn off automatic rivalries. You're going to turn off crowd changing reactions, tag team breakups. You're going to bring down the cash-in rate to 0, because a lot of the times, guys, rivalries will form by themselves, tag teams will break up, and you won't have no clue if you are simulating from time to time, and just certain things will happen that you're like, man, I ain't want that to happen, especially a cash-in. You definitely don't want that to happen, and then you just lose control of your cash-in. Even though if you are looking for a surprise factor, it is probably the best thing that you can do. Just leave it on and then just let it go. But this is for people that want full customization within their universe mode and just be the creator of everything, just the booker. Because if you leave some of this stuff on, the universe mode will book certain things for you, and you definitely don't want that. And then the intergender wrestling option, which is really cool that it does support it and there's an actual setting for it. You can either turn it on or off. I will be leaving mine off just for full authenticity of the real life product. But if you are looking to do some fun stuff, go on ahead and turn it on, and then just follow the rest of this video as usual, and everything that I do will just apply to your intergender wrestling universe mode. One thing I do want to emphasize is making sure that your rivalries are clean, nice, and empty. There is no rivalries in there. You can do that yourself. You don't want to go into your universe mode and start your first show with just pre-made rivalries that you kind of had no clue about. So please make sure that you're going ahead and see that that's not there and that it's clean slate just for you, because I did notice that 2 rivalries come in the universe mode, and I believe if you turn off the setting, it should take it away. But again, just double check and be sure that you're not going into your universe mode with something that the game already pre-made for you. Now, the calendar, my favorite part of universe mode. You're gonna go ahead and delete all of the shows that you don't want to use. Me personally, NXT will be deleted. I do not have time to do 3 shows. Now, in everyone else's defense, if you have time, do it. And the reason why is because there is 300 wrestlers on this roster. It is going to be hard to book them all. But personally, I will be sticking with Raw and SmackDown, and the way that I will be going on ahead and assigning wrestlers is those wrestlers from NXT, I will be assigning certain ones to Raw and SmackDown, to whoever needs them most, in my opinion, and just run my universe mode that way, because I don't use all of the NXT talent. I will be using wrestlers such as Obafemi, Javon Evans, Jada Parker, Lola Vice. Those wrestlers over on that side, they'll make it to the main roster, and then everybody else, I'm sorry, but you're left out. So just my 2 cents with that. That's the way that I would handle it. Make sure that you delete Backlash, because Backlash to me is a waste of time, especially at the beginning of your universe mode. And the reason why I say that is because Backlash is kind of like a revenge for WrestleMania, and we have not played WrestleMania in universe mode yet. So I believe that you shouldn't play that PLE, but if you want to crown your champions, sure, or if you want to put something else there as a placeholder, go for it. But me personally, I deleted my Backlash out of universe mode because I felt that there is no need to have that there, because I'm only like 1 week in. What am I gonna run there? So just my 2 cents with that. Now, one thing I do want to point out is usually I put my PLEs on the last week of every month. I decided not to do that this year. And the reason why I decided not to do that is because you have Queen and King of the Ring that go over at SummerSlam. So that's all connected. So I decided not to touch that for now. Now, I have played universe mode a lot over these last couple days, but the one thing I do want to point out is that I haven't noticed anything crazy. Usually with the PLEs, putting them at the end of the month every time, that does seem to work. But again, I don't want to mess with the order and the chemistry of how, you know, King and Queen of the Ring works with SummerSlam, unless you just want to just leave that one alone and put everything else at the last week of the calendar. You can go on ahead and do that, but me personally, I will be staying away from that till I find out further information. Again, this is version 1 of universe mode. If I find a better way, something where there's more stability, as I felt that there is a lot of stability in this year's universe mode thus far, we have to see if that stays. But again, I just want to go on ahead and mention I'll be staying far away from removing PLEs and putting them here and there. Now, one thing I do want to point out is make sure that you delete the NXT shows. because you have the PLE special type shows that happen on the weekdays. So make sure that those are deleted as well. And one cool thing about this year is that you can delete 1 week from a regular show and throw in something really cool there. So if you go through the calendar, you see that there's Raw Day 1. So that's like a special episode of Raw, and you can just do cool stuff like that. So again, it's up to you to run your universe mode however you want, but just something to keep in mind with the calendar this year. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Raw and SmackDown, and I'm going to edit the matches to 7 to 8 instead of 5. And some of you guys may be saying, whoa, that's a lot of matches. Now, let me fill you in on a little secret. When you go into doing a promo, that counts as a match. So you have to make sure that you have enough matches for your actual wrestling matches and your promos. If you're doing about 2 promos an episode, this is something that you're going to want to do because you want to be able to fill in at least 4 or 5 matches and have your 2 promos. Usually I like doing about 2 promos. I've been doing that, you know, 1 promo for the men, 1 promo for the women, and whatever happens with those promos. But again, I want to point out, you definitely don't want just 5 matches because you're going to run into 1 or 2 promos and have 3 matches. And it really just depends on how you want to run your universe mode and how small your rosters will be. But if you're planning on running just a normal universe mode with big rosters, definitely be aware that you definitely want more matches, and that's the reason why I set it up that way. Now, I'm going to go on ahead and deassign everybody from the championships. And one thing I noticed is that in universe mode, there is support for the women's intercontinental and United States championship, but they're not actually in there right away. You have to do it yourself. So me personally, I don't like the women's tag team division, so I went ahead and removed the tag team championships for the women and added their mid-card championship into universe mode. So make sure that you went ahead and did that with Raw, add the Intercontinental, and with SmackDown, add the United States Championship. So again, keep that in mind if you are going to run a mid-card women's division. I think it's pretty fun. Why not? Especially with all the NXT talent that we have in this year's game. You definitely want another title to kind of fill that gap in. So just make sure to go on ahead and add that if you want to go on ahead and just simulate how I did my universe mode. Now, I'm going to go on ahead and deassign everybody from each roster and just going ahead and plug people in myself. That's the way I did it. Usually I go and do a draft, but I really like the screen this year because you can go through every wrestler and it'll say, hey, this wrestler is assigned to this show, but you can go on ahead and switch it right then and there. So that's my favorite part of the screen this year, with being able to do that with wrestlers. It makes it so much easier. You can do even flip a coin on your phone or something. Ask Siri to do it for you. Heads or tails of SmackDown or Raw, and you can go on ahead and put them there, or do it the way that you want to go on ahead and do it. Me personally, I just went and did it regular this year. I didn't do no draft. Usually I do a draft, so maybe I'll drop a video on that pretty soon. But I didn't do no draft this year. I just went through Star Power and really saw what I wanted to do there. So again, the deassign feature with just being able to just take everybody off a show, I really like that. Kudos to 2K for getting that in the game. And lastly, check your tag teams. Make sure your tag teams are up to date. I removed Jade Cargill off the team with Bianca and put Naomi in there. Make sure that you're going ahead and get all of that in there because you want to make sure that, you know, your tag teams are up to date and that the Brothers of Destruction don't pull up on your universe mode. I mean, they won't if they're not on the roster, but again, just, you know, I have a little bit of OCD when it comes down to that. I don't like to see stuff that just don't make no sense. Brother of Destructions, get them up out of there. You have a bunch of other tag teams that are legends from the old era. Get them up out of there. If you don't want a tag team that's in right now, delete it. Just keep your stuff updated as possible. If you like them, keep it. But again, this is the way that I built mine. So that is all I did thus far. I haven't done much else. I have been running matches. Again, haven't run into many glitches. Once again, appreciate you guys for watching this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe if you are enjoying the content. I'm gonna catch y'all. Peace.